Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This debate will come to order. I am pleased to welcome all of you to IPT Test and English debate. The topic being debated today is single-gender schools are better for students. Sit on our left representing the proposition sides are Ms. Nur Badriah binti Ismail, Ms. Nur Maisarah binti Muhammad Bahariman, and Ms. Siti Akilah binti Aziali. Speaking for the opposition sides are Ms. Nuruddina binti Muhammad Tarmizi, Ms. Nur Haifa Fatnin binti Rosdi, and Ms. Safiah binti Zulkifli. And I am Nur Yasmin Atika binti Yusri, your moderator. Now let the first speaker of the affirmative team to explain the topic. The time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Today, I stand here because I believe that education in schools would be more advanced if only on the basis of a single gender compared to a mixed gender in school. Prior to that, thank you to Ms. Moderator, the oppositions and the supporters, comprising Nur Maisarah binti Muhammad Bahariman as the second speaker and Ms. Siti Akilah binti Aziali as the third speaker. Assalamualaikum and greetings to all. I'm Nur Badriah binti Ismail as the first speaker of the motion, glad to purposely make the motion that single gender school is better and can give more benefit for students. Before I go any further, let me give the definition of this motion literally, so that the opposition in particular does not sway in search of the basis of our struggle. Single gender school, often referred to as single gender school, are educational institutions where students are exclusively of one gender, whether all male or all female. This means that the school accepts and educates students who identify as either male or female, but not both. In single gender school, all academic and extracurricular activity, facilities and resources are segregated on the basis of gender. Students attend classes and engage in school-related activities with peers of the same gender. Ms. Moderator, I have one indicator to strengthen this topic, which is that single gender are better for students. First and foremost, being surrounded by same-gender classmates make us feel like siblings. So, students will be less embarrassed to give ideas and ask anything if they don't understand. Girls will be embarrassed when surrounded by men, and they will also feel ashamed and uncomfortable speaking in public differently when studying in a single-gender school. Students will feel more confident and active with themselves in all situations, regardless of whether they participate in co-curricular activities or are related to the curriculum. Sorry, Miss, not yet. Regardless of whether they participate in co-curricular activities or are related to the curriculum, take on leadership roles and express themselves without fear of judgment and comparison to the opposite gender. They are free to do what they like without having to hide and are free to participate in extracurricular and curriculum activities in accordance with the interests, abilities, and needs of a particular gender. For example, engaging in extreme activities such as taekwondo, rugby, and hockey for female students feeling unsafe or uncomfortable. Some female students may feel insecure and uncomfortable in male-dominated environment, especially if taekwondo, training, and hockey are done together with male students. And it also considered rude and inappropriate for girls. Similarly, male students also find it difficult to participate in singing, dancing, gymnastics, and so on due to the feeling of shame if they attend school. In addition, a single-gender school will cause lack of embarrassment in oneself when it comes to pitching ideas, opinion, and views. This type of school, to some extent, teach its students to dare to speak out. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl school. I believe students will slowly build this character to be truly brave. The result can be seen through the involvement of similar school students in oratory competition debates and so on. With this, it can be proven that gender singles are better for students due to the absence of gender competitions between males and females, making them more passionate about the learning process. Yes, Miss?
What benefits will students get if they are more confident to learn in class?
Thank you for the questions. When students feel confident in their ability to learn and succeed in the classroom, they can reap a multitude of benefits that contribute to their overall academic performance, personal growth, resilience in the face of challenges, and others. Thank you, that's all for me.
Thank you. That's the opinion from opposition team. And it is time for the first speaker of opposition team to give your opinion. The time is yours. Thank you, Ms. Speaker. Before I proceed with my arguments, allow me to rebut the point laid out by the proposition side. Earlier, she stated that so students will be less embarrassed to give ideas and ask anything if they don't understand, right? So, in mixed gender schools, if the students want to ask questions or develop their ideas to the audience, they will be ashamed. That's your point, right? Why do students have to be embarrassed and ashamed to give out ideas and questions when it can benefit them? Students should be active in class regardless of single or mixed gender setting. In fact, when interacting in mixed gender setting, students can exchange more diverse ideas with each other can benefit their learning session. Besides, she also mentioned about girls will be embarrassed when surrounded by men as well as men. They will also feel ashamed and uncomfortable to speak in public differently when studying in a single gender school. I highlight one more time. Feel ashamed and uncomfortable to speak in public means single gender schools hardly to build confidence when in public. In layman's terms, single gender schools produce students who do not have the confidence to collaborate or deal with opposite gender. Moving on, our topic today about single gender schools are better for students. I will now define this motion. Our first keyword for the motion is single gender schools. Single gender school, as Speaker 1 mentioned, the school admits and educates students who identify as either boy or girls, but not both, and all the academic and extracurricular activities, facilities, plus resources are segregated based on gender. So, this statement concludes that starting from single gender school, they present the students accustomed to collaborating with students of the same gender in academic, co-curricular, and etc. Better, the word better carries the meaning of being a higher standard or more effective than other things, while students refer to a group of people below 18 years old who attend educational institutions. In the nutshell, Gender-segregated-based schools are more effective for a group of people below 18 years old who attend educational institutions. We, on the opposition side, disagree with today's motion as it can impact the holistic development of students. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now proceed with my arguments. The first point of the opposition side is that single-gender schools can cause less socializing among the students. Why is that? Okay, let me first explain the root of the problem. When students always live in the circle of their own gender, there becomes difficulty to socialize with opposite gender. As they found it will be hard for them to socialize. Their communication skills will be affected for the future. Why do their communication skills will be interrupted? This is because there rarely makes a communication between mixed gender in school. Accordingly, it will be harder for them to assimilate in the future. Talking about the students' communication skills, if we go to mixed gender schools, their students will be more confident to communicate in public. The reason I say so because students in mixed gender schools already being exposed and active due to their environment in the class that allow them to be courageous and independent in public. Furthermore, when boys and girls are given access to each other at an early age in a secure environment like the school, so it becomes easier for them to adapt to changing conditions when they get older. Thus, it creates cultural and social advantages that can last for a lifetime. The proposition side point out that students will be more confident and active with themselves in all situations, regardless of whether participating in co-curricular activities or related to the curriculum in a single-gender school. However, this will only take a toll on the students. Why would we say so? It is because they will feel too comfortable in their own cocoon and they do not want to go out of their comfort zone. They tend to avoid interactions with the opposite gender as they feel timid and shy. This shows that single-gender schools can actually lower the students' self-esteem. They will find it hard to fit in an unfamiliar setting. Hence, it will be hard for them to adapt to a new environment. According to the below, the chair of the heads of independent co-educational schools, new softwares and American collegiate testing says that the co-education, which is mixed gender schools, helps prepare children for the diversity and richness of the world after school. Mixed gender schools can create an educational environment where boys and girls receive opportunities together. It is significantly different when compared to same-gender education, where each is segregated from the other. Moreover, students in mixed-gender schools are receiving more access to diversity in their educational environments. They can exchange more fruitful ideas and thoughts between one another. Hence, their personal progress and socialization are typically better. Therefore, we, on the opposition side, disagree with today's motion as single-gender schools can cause less socialization among the students. Thank you.
The topic for our debate today is the single-gender school are better for students. We are the opposite side believe that this statement is true. The first speaker from the opposition side has tried to tell you about a single-gender school can cause less socialization among the students, right? But this does not mean that single-gender school will make its students less socialized or less communication skill. In fact, single-gender school further fosters the confidence of their students to communicate with our communities regardless of gender. It doesn't prevent children from familiarizing themselves with the other genders. It is called education for a reason. Learning is timeless. Children can reach out for other children and it's encouraged to do that after school as well as through co-educational opportunities in music, drama and workshop. I made it clear that the single-gender school pupils will still have a collaboration with other school pupils who have two gender, which is female and male students. Pupils are not given a negative idea of the other genders and can mingle freely and comfortably with them. But children are only provided with an environment that lets them study in comfort and style. However, it doesn't end at just study. Education has other aspects that children need to build, and some of them include social, emotional, and physical and psychology development. Mainly, with the other gender outside, the school environment helps children achieve these other aspects of should be encouraged. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now proceed with my arguments. Single-gender schools are better for students because have a more relaxing environment. Even though many boys and girls schools demonstrate high standard of education, they often have more relaxed environment than their co-education counterparts. These are cultivated and is absent of gender precise impress. When students are among peers that are physically similar of them, they do not feel as if they have to prove something about their biological sex, as is often the case for girls and boys in traditional school. In addition to being themselves and behaving as a daily student, in single gender school are more willing to take risks when they are not afraid of failing in front of the opposite sex. The resulting classroom are often dynamic, free, and bursting with ideas and conversation, all hallmarks of a great education. Single-gender school also reduce the formation of cliques in some cases. With opposite gender stereotype and gender destruction of the picture, students can concentrate on their studies and extracurricular. Some experts say that this lack of pressure and competition gives rise to more welcome attitudes towards the of the same biological sex and the easier formation of platonic relationship well. Ladies and gentlemen, to my second point, nowadays we can see that single-gender school can make students achievement more prominence, quality, and a high level. This can be provided by research show the female graduates of single-gender education excel more academically than those who come from mixed-gender classroom settings. Supporters of gender classroom point out the outcome for research which yielded result that they put more weight on gender-specific educational system where the girls score highest on SAT tests, and these who were included in the studies say that they spend more time revising and doing homework, while their high school those who are distracted with the presence and attention of boys in a classroom where the coexisted. This existment usually include by tolerate teaching methods. Single-gender school can costume teaching stretch to align with the learning style and preferences associated with each gender. For example, they can adapt teaching approach to better suit the cognitive, social, and emotional development of boys and girls. As evidence that many single-gender schools achieve better academic achievement than regular school. For example, Sultan Alam Shah and Tung Fatimah School received the most excellent grades when SPN compared to other schools. The school ranking list of best school SPN in 2023. That's all for me. Thank you.
I don't agree with the point given. One gender school don't necessarily have a relaxing environment. This makes the students more open to doing things. Not only that, single gender schools have an impact on a student's attitude and behavior because they are more accustomed to engage in rude behavior. This is said to be because schools with one gender are less ashamed to commit indecent acts because they do not have friends of different gender. Furthermore, this will have an impact on the students when they enter the university. They will get used to committing a rude acts or behavior in public. This causes friends of the opposite gender to look oblique and feel less comfortable with them. Not only that, this will affect their environment when the students do not take care of manner and deeds. This environment will create a negative and less civil atmosphere. For example, girls-only school cause students to be free to sit in politely. This is because they think that their friends are also the same gender as them. Therefore, a single gender school is not able to create a healthy and a good atmosphere. Furthermore, single gender school can create disciplinary problems. They are more likely to be passionate about career on their own because they do not have their classmates of the opposite gender. Not only that, teenagers are one of the pace in which they have a high, Not only that, teenagers one of the pace in which they have a higher desire to try anything. Therefore, they are more likely to do immoral things among themselves such as LGBT and lesbian. Alright, proceed the next content from the proposition side. I will give my own opinion. I strongly disagree with the content given. A single gender school does not necessarily have a better quality academic achievement rather than a two-gender school. This is because female and male students have their own advantage and uniqueness. Can be their own contribute to their school to achieve more excellence in any aspect. For example, Sultan Mahmud Science Secondary School is one of the best schools in Malaysia. This school consists boy and girl students. This school is located in Kuala Terengganu. Not only that, this school also achieved the best achievement in SPM result because they can produce the excellent student not only focused on academic, but they also can be excellent on co-curricular. The achievement also in this school at the national level. This clearly shows that a school of two gender can improve the performance of that school. Next, every woman has been their own talents and uniqueness. Schools with female and male students are able to produce more success than single gender school. Every student will able to contribute their skills and talents that are in particular method. This indirectly ensures that a school has capable students in many aspects and many ways. Furthermore, the Tengku Munawir Science Secondary School is also one of the best schools in Malaysia. The school was able to be the best school in around 2006, 2007. Please let me proceed first. Furthermore, the Tengku Munawir Science Secondary School is one of the best schools in Malaysia. The school was able to be the best school in around 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2014, and 2015. This achievement can be produced by students, by girls and boys students. In addition, the school is able to produce students with the most 3A plus SPM result. This clearly proves that a school with two genders is capable of producing the best achievement in various aspects. Before I end my speech, I also want to give another example. India Secondary School is also one of the best schools. The school has both female and male students. The achievement of excellent SPM result for India Kuala Terengganu Secondary School was able to get JPS 1.31. This shows that the achievement of their students are so excellent that they can contribute to academic achievement in the school. After that, I also want to give my own opinion because the advantage for single two-gender school. Before I proceed, I also want to give my own opinion about Before I proceed my talk, I want to give my own opinion about two-gender schools. One-gender school will make the pupils have less exposure to the friendship between female and male students. They are not accustomed and not exposed to different gender while at school. This will create a bad atmosphere when they fail to know and master how to make friends with different gender.
Sorry, Miss.
Yes?
Not necessarily. Single gender school pupils will still have a collaboration with other school pupils who have two gender, which is female and male students. This collaboration allows single gender school to social and interact with the different gender.
Alright, thank you for the question given. Alright, this is especially true for students who are going to seek for the SPM exam, have many progress and many collaboration with other schools. However, this will only happen when a single gender school collaborated with a school of different gender. Not only that. It's okay. Saya jawab. Come on. Ada kerja nak ada. This is especially true of students who are going to seek for the SPM examination, have many progress and many collaboration with other schools. However, this will only happen when a single gender school have collaborated with a different gender school. Not only that, this exposure can only be felt by certain students, leaving the majority of other students accustomed to interacting and socializing with different gender. This will have an impact on the majority of other students who are not exposed to the right way how to socializing and speaking with other gender. Most of educational institutes, especially higher educational institutes such as university, have their own different backgrounds and gender of students. Students from one gender school cannot have a good speaking and socializing skills that they are simply accustomed to same gender friends. Therefore, one gender school lack exposure in many things. Alright, let me proceed my own opinion first. Accordingly, there will be more social and not take care of manner when talking to different gender. This is because one gender school is less exposure rather than pupils from different gender. This is also affect the students when they start meeting friends of opposite gender outside the school. They are not able to distinguish what is
what is necessary and unnecessary when talking to the opposite gender. This is said to be because students from one gender school have become accustomed to speaking freely without talking about the effect. Therefore, single gender schools do not get proper disclosure of how it is socialized because they are only accustomed to same gender as well. Next, students of single gender school also lack exposure about different gender traits. This happens because friends at school only have one gender, only same as them. This causes to be ignorant of their different gender or trait that allow them to be always be prepared and avoid having problems in making friends. They are also not used to coping with problems of different gender while making friends that can negatively affect a person. Alright, thank you for me.
Okay, now let's listen to the opinion from the speaker from Proposition E. The time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Before I start my speech, opposition, are you sure that our argument is not true? Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, fellow debater and fellow audience members, my establishment here to present the perspective that single-gender school can indeed offer substantial benefit for students. While my colleagues have outlined the general advantage and disadvantages of single-gender education, I'm here to emphasize the positive impact which you can get if you attend a single-gender school. Just a moment ago, the first speaker mentioned that students of different gender schools would be more confident in themselves. I totally disagree with this argument. Sorry, miss. Sit down, please. This is my time to speak, not yours. I totally disagree with her argument because this is the relationship between confident and attending a single-gender school versus a mixed-gender school is not straightforward and can vary greatly from individual to individual. Confidence is influenced by a complex interplay of factors, including but not limited to school environment, social interaction, personal experiences, and personality traits. Here are some considerations that I can give about confidence. First of all, self-perception. How students perceive themselves and their ability in a crucial factor. Confidence often stems from self-esteem, which can be influenced by family, friends, and personal experiences, not only for the school environment. And another consideration that I can give is support and encouragement. The presence of the supportive teacher, mentor, and a positive school culture can boost confidence regardless of the gender composition of the school. For example, students who attend single-gender school are usually involved in a competition organized regardless of state, national, or international level. How can a student attending a school of single gender achieve such a level of achievement without a high confidence? Think about it. Sit down, miss. Okay. Now, moving on, second speaker of opposition mentioned that single-gender school lead to a lack of exposure. This is not true at all because even when attending a school of single gender, it is not a barrier for people to connect or interact with their peers of the opposite gender. For example, the people attend a school of single gender while in secondary school. So, likely that the people has friends of the opposite gender on a primary school, where the majority of primary schools in our country are mixed gender. At the same time, we can see that usually for the schools of single gender to collaborate with other schools, usually mixed gender school is very high. This is because a program or seminar is usually done in collaboration. Therefore, I vehemently deny the argument presented by second speaker of the opposition. the issue raised by the opposition I have already reviewed. Now, it's time for me to reinforce the argument presented by my co-runners. First and foremost, research has shown that single-gender school can create a focused learning environment. This statement relates to what my first speaker said. When students are surrounded by peers of the same gender, they may feel more at ease and less pressured by gender stereotype, allowing them to concentrate better on their study. Additionally, teaching method and approaches can be tailored to better suit the unique learning style and need of a particular gender, enhancing academic engagement. Furthermore, proponents of single-gender school argue that this institution fostered an atmosphere that encouraged healthy competition and growth, without a distraction of social pressure that can come with a co-educational environment. Students may be more willing to participate in classroom discussion, seek academic help, and pursue leadership roles within their own gender group. These arguments were very closely related to my second speaker. It is crucial to acknowledge that the effectiveness of single-gender school varies based on culture, socio-economic, individual factors. However, in some cases, providing an option for single-gender education can cater to diverse learning preferences and contribute positively to the educational journey of certain students. In conclusion, while single-gender school may not be a one-size-fits-all solution, they certainly have the environment where students can thrive academically and personally. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. How about the argument from opposition teams? For the third speaker of opposition team, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. Rodrigo Duterte has said that God does not discriminate against people regardless of color, religion, social class, and sexual preference. So, we are standing here is for winning this debate session. But before that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For responsible jury, my fellow friends, my teachers, honorable guests, and all my near and dear ones, a very good morning to all and all present here. Just now, I disagree with my dear fellow just said, surrounded by same-sex classmates make us feel like siblings, and the student will be less embraced to give ideas and ask anything if they don't understand. This statement is wrong because if someone have ideas or anything they do not understand, their willingness to ask although for the opposite genders. Feeling shy and shame to interact with the opposite gender is concerning that they are not fully prepared for the real world. Men and women cannot be separated, although in single gender school, they are not exposed to opposite gender. But one day, men and women will be constant contact and have to cooperate in daily life. Feeling shy and embarrassed is the attitude by ourselves. If we not change this attitude, this means that a person will be always shy and embarrassed regardless in front of any gender. For example, the students in the co-education always think they are ready to speak up in the class. This is not means the reluctance of the girls to speak up in the class does not necessarily mean that girls are not learning in the class. Research in England and Wales by Stickman and in Northern Ireland by Daly has confirmed this. Has confirmed that when school and students' background factors are controlled, single-sex schooling does not result in superior academic performance for girls in public examination. Now, let's move to second review that I find some correction in my dear friend just said before. Students in single-gender schools are more willing to take risks when they are not afraid of failing in front of the opposite gender. This statement means that when someone fails in front of the opposite gender, they will feel afraid and ashamed. From my point of view, the speaker wants to state that a person can succeed if he or she is in a school that has a single gender only. This is not the Barbie world, friends. In addition, one of the researchers has found the student who had attended single-sex school took longer to adjust to the co-education atmosphere of a university. This is make it difficult for a person to have interaction when it comes to group tasks that have two genders in one group, either university or workplace. In addition, my friend from proposition side also said that many single gender schools achieve better academic achievement than regular schools. For example, Sultan Alam Shah Tun Fatimah School received the most excellent grades when SPM compared to other schools. We all know that these schools need a high requirement and good result to enroll in this school. So many students from this school have really good backgrounds. Here is one of my analysis. Because of single-sex schools are more likely to be non-government or government, notice fee-paying schools, their students often come from higher economic backgrounds with parents who are more directly involved in their education than students attending co-education government schools. Students in single-sex schools tend to be more high achieved, perhaps in part because of their home backgrounds. Now, let me define my group. Early, our first and second speakers say that single-gender school can cause us less socializing among the students, as students will have less exposure about different gender traits or temperament. We have known that the real world will attend by two genders in many aspects. By expressing this real world such an early age will help us build basis to communicate with all people without having any misunderstanding. Especially, this will help in relationship for a woman and man, so they don't need to fight often because there is understanding between them. It is important to develop communication skills from a young age, and co-education plays a huge role in this topic. Allowing a child to talk or to people of any gender with ease, this very experience means that both female and male perspectives are constantly explored, and the various modes of communications among the genders are better understood. If students are not given this opportunity, they may find it harder to develop the skill needed to interact with each other in the long term. In addition, lack of experience about different gender treatment will cause us the problem when someone can understand clearly every action of by men or women. At the heart of it, gender topic are important thing to take attention in carrying out the learning process, including learning to survive in this world. Thank you.
Time's up. All arguments have been given. Please provide your conclusion. For the speaker from the proposition team, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. In conclusion, we have presented a compelling case advocacy for the benefits of single-gender schools. Throughout this debate, we have highlighted how these institutions can create an environment conducive to improve academic performance and personal development. Our team has underlined the potential advantage of single-gender school, including the reduction of distractions, the tailoring of teaching methods, and the promotion of confidence and active participation. Research support our claim, showing that students in single-gender school often achieve higher academic outcome and develop stronger self-esteem, while acknowledging the importance of educational setting in promoting social interaction and communication between genders. We firmly believe that a well-structured and nurturing single-gender school can provide a balanced education that prepares students for the reality of the world beyond in classroom. In addressing the counter-arguments presented by the opposing team, we maintain that single-gender school can indeed offer an inclusive and diverse environment, fostering empathy and understanding between genders through intentional collaboration and extracurricular activities. In conclusion, between gender through intentional collaborations and in conclusion, the benefits of single-gender school in promoting academic excellence, personal growth, and a nurturing educational environment cannot be overstated. We advocate for exploring and embracing this educational model to provide students with the optimal setting for their holistic development. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you consider the potential advantage of single-gender school, and we strive to create the best educational experience for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. What about the conclusion from opposition team? Let the speaker provide your conclusion. The time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. P. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to wrap our debate. Earlier, as the proposition side stated that single-gender schools are better for students because they can build the confidence when in the same genders. Plus, the opposition side also mentioned that the environment will be more relaxing despite of the mixed-gender schools and makes their achievement become more efficient. As a consequence, I would like to emphasize that the opposition side disagree with today's motion. This is because today's motion can less socializing the students' communication and less exposure to the friendship between female and male students. Again, I would like to reaffirm that the opposition side disagree that single-gender schools are better for students. With that, I raise my case. Thank you.
Well, IPT KSM English debate has been complete. From this debate, we can conclude that actually single-gender school can give many benefits for students because can make students more confident, comfortable, and others. But on the other hand, this also can be the bad impact for students' future life because they are not used to communicate with other gender. I am, as your moderator, apologize if there are any mistakes in my speech or behavior, whether internationally or unintentionally. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.